This workout is quick and done all standing with your loop. So we are not going to use the loop at first. Come to standing with your feet about sits bone width. It's that same stance that you find when you're set up for hip rolls or hip lifts. And then just stand tall, maybe even close your eyes. And interlace your fingers and place your hands on the top of your head, the very top of your head. And then try to let your arms go heavy from there. So your heavy arms are giving some gentle pressure down on the very top of your structure. And then feel yourself resist gravity and resist the heavy arms and hands, and a gentle push back, a gentle energetic push up towards the sky, towards the ceiling, into your palms, into your fingers. And think of the weight as dropping primarily down into your heels, and tune into the bony structure, the bony architecture stacked on top of the heels. So the shin bones are pretty much straight up and down. The thigh bones are pretty much straight up and down. The pelvis, the whole bowl of the pelvis is settled, not tilted too far forward or back. The big barrel of the rib cage is just stacked right on top of the pelvic bowl. The shoulder girdle is rested easily on top of the rib cage. And then the heavy bowling ball skull is propped on top. See if you can think of your head more like a helium balloon than the bowling ball analogy that I just used. So the head as a helium balloon is lifting up, up, up. And perhaps your spine down connected to your legs is the string attached to that helium balloon. So there's an energetic lightness against the heavy gravitational force down. Maybe keep your eyes closed as you really lightly and slowly lift your hands off of your head, uninterlace your fingers, and just slowly let your arms float down like they're part of that, the ribbons coming off of your helium balloon there. Let them float down and dangle lightly. Open your eyes so you get your bearings. Take your hands somewhere on your pelvis, so that pelvic bowl, if it's like a bowl, we're not tipping it forward and spilling the soup out the front in anterior pelvic tilt, and we're not tucking it under and spilling the soup from the soup bowl out the back. But the bowl is really level there. So your hands are on that pelvic bowl to give you some feedback, and you're just going to start shifting your weight from side to side. So your entire structure is going to shift over your right heel, the ball of the foot as well, but majority heel, and then over to the left. And I usually mirror you on these videos, so right and left doesn't really matter too much. I usually mirror you, but wasn't right there. So as you shift from side to side, notice the entire structure has to shift, and start to do a little bit more lift through the unweighted leg. So actually get the weight off of that leg. With your hands on your pelvis, you want to feel a translation, so a direct side shift, but no side tilting, front back tilting. And you're going to start to bring your free leg, your floating leg, up towards tabletop or right angle, a march. And the whole structure of your torso just slides or translates to the side without any rotation or side bending. And as you lift the legs, start to bring a little bit more engagement in through your pelvic floor, through your low abdominals, like a zip up from pubic bone to navel, and finding that engagement and that lift that's going to help stabilize the pelvis. Maybe put your hands on the outsides of your hips too and feel that musculature engage as your pelvic stabilizers, particularly your glute med, your side butt, starts to activate. We're going to pick up the pace and make the side step bigger. And on this one, it's really hard to see on the video, but I'm still bringing my leg up straight in front of me. Because I'm crossing the camera, it looks like I'm crossing my leg in front of me, but I'm not. I'm lifting it straight in front of the hip joint. So don't let that throw you off. Your arms could come out for balance, Or if you like that feedback of hands on the hips, hands on the pelvis, keep them there. Literally shake that out, let that go. Take your feet wide and externally rotated and bend your knees and lengthen. Plie squat down. Take about 4 more like this. The entire bowl of the pelvis just lowers and rises. Hands are wherever's helpful for feedback. Your hip pointer bones are even, both on this plane and this plane. So one is not forward, one is not back, one is not up, one is not down, but they are on the same plane. One more. And then again, literally shake that out, shake that off and let it go. Take the band around your ankles. Band low around the ankles and then feet wide enough, so maybe a little wider than they were, wide enough that you feel the tension trying to pull your ankles in, and resist that. Knees, shins straight up over the ankles. Hands on the hips and squat, hinge at the hips, pull the hips down and back, and then engage the glutes to lift and press forward. Hip hinge, you all know this, we do lots of variations of it. Low abdominals lift, really creating a pure, strict hinge at the hips there. Chest is like slightly forward. Upper back is long. Your gaze is going to be forward, not straight down, not up at the screen. Hopefully you can listen to the cues. And then from the top, you're going to sidestep a little bigger and squat and come in, sidestep a little bigger and come in. Wide and rise, wide and rise. 4, 3, 2, 1. And let that go. We're going to do a couple more variations on that. So now bring the band right above the knees. Hold a squat and take 3, 2, 1, side step. 3, 2, 1. So you might want to be going long ways across your mat. Out, out, maintaining that perfect hinge at the hips. 3, press the leg wide, pull it in. Go back, wide, narrow, Do 2 more passes like that, truly parallel, not turning the feet out. Last one, my hips are starting to feel it, and I hope yours are too. Come up. The band is going to come back down to the ankles. Side view will be a little easier for you here to see what's going on. You're going to bend, just soften your left knee, and put the right foot, like arch of the foot, into the band. Keep the left knee soft. Keep the pelvis, the ribs, the shoulder girdle stacked. Unweight the right toes. You could be close to a wall here if that's helpful. And you're just going to do little presses back. And I do mean little. So find your balance, find your glute and your hamstring. Press the sole of the foot into the band. Totally fine to have your hands on a chair, on the wall, on a counter here. One more like this. And then switch sides. So bend your standing knee. That's going to help your balance and help your stabilizers on your standing leg. Thighs start pretty much next to each other. You're upright in this. You're not hinged forward. You're upright. Hands on something for balance if you want help. 8, 7. As you press the sole of the foot back, draw the abdominals back as well. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the loop around both feet and go back into the marching from the beginning. So pull one knee up in front of you and then switch sides. Hands on the hips, keep alternating. Pull the knee up high. Switch, switch, switch. 8, 7, 6. Watch the extension so you're not up here. Last one. Keep your feet in it just like this. And then wiggle your feet together as close as they'll go. Have the balls of your feet on the band actually, and then you kind of want to get the band as tight as you can underneath your feet. You're going to hold on to the band with almost straight legs, so a little softness in your knees. Find this position and just take the tiniest little hip hinges at first. So without bending the knees, your torso lowers and it lifts. And this might be a very small movement. If the band feels way too tight for you, if you're tall and not so flexible, the band might be too small, too tight. You could do this with a TheraBand held in each hand. You're going to start to bring it all the way up. Press through the glutes, through the glutes, through the glutes. It's a deadlift. Rise all the way up. The band is not pulling you into this, give into gravity, thoracic flexion here. You are tall and strong. Helium balloon head. Hinge at the hips, soften the knees. Deadlift, long spine. Through the seat, through the heels drill down towards the floor as you rise all the way up. And lower back down, slow and controlled. Rise up, engage the glutes, slow and controlled. And back down. We have 6 more of these. Go slow, find your glutes, keep your knees soft. The initiation from here is a butt squeeze and a heel drive. So heels go down, glute squeeze, up. And bring it back down. Rise up, 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 up. And back down. One more. And let that go. Just let the band drop. Feel free to hold on for the next little bit for these stretches. Feel free to hold on to something. Grab onto one ankle, pull your heel to your seat. The pelvic bowl is level. Find that length through the front of the hip flexors. We worked them quite a bit. Switch sides with that. That zip from pubic bone to navel, length through the front of the thigh, length through the spine. You take it in as far as you need, which might be out here. It's harder for me apparently. And then also stretching the pelvic stabilizers. Hinge at the hips. Feel free to grab onto something here. My feet are practically round, which is not so great for shoe shopping, but really nice for balance. Switch sides. And then bring it up. Thank you.